All right, so we're here at Turning Point USA with Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch.
Good to be with you again, buddy.
Great
How are
to
you?
see you again.
Nice
so
to see you.
I think everybody is really perplexed by what went on in Emmett Sullivan's courtroom the other day in Washington, D.C. with General Flynn. What's your take on the whole thing? There were a lot of questions that came out of that.
I think the judge is upset about the proceedings. General Flynn was raising issues in his pleadings that suggested prosecutorial misconduct, and the judge was pushing on it. And look, you can't raise these issues without perhaps making it look like you don't accept responsibility, because recall, despite everyone like me saying I don't think he lied, he says he lied. And so he's pleading guilty. And the judge said, well, you can't take responsibility while complaining about what the other side did to you.
Right.
And so he's raising the stakes for him by highlighting the fact he might have to go to jail.
Sullivan's raising the stakes.
And giving General Flynn an opportunity to withdraw his plea agreement, which he's refused to do thus far.
It seemed like he was practically begging him to withdraw that guilty plea. Have you seen that type of interaction between a judge and a defendant before?
It was a rather extraordinary hearing. I don't attend, thankfully, many criminal sentences, but that's not the way they typically go. For 2 hours at length, with the judge asking, you sure you don't want to withdraw? I can appoint an independent lawyer to look at your case if you want.
Second opinion.
That's right, and that's pretty dramatic material.
And of course, Emmett Sullivan, he was asking if there was sufficient evidence to charge the general with treason, and they said there wasn't. But it seems like the mainstream media has been running with that treason word and the question.
Well, Judge Sullivan went off a little bit in the sense of, making it clear he was upset about what had happened and raising issues he perhaps thought better of. In fact, he came back and apologized for
We didn't hear much about that.
What I thought was interesting, though, was the special counsel was keeping his head down, the lawyer for the special counsel, and not addressing the issues about the prosecutorial misconduct, at least with the ambush interview that's been alleged, and the fact that the FBI agent said that he lied, and the idea that he's being prosecuted for crimes that typically are never criminally prosecuted, such as failure to file a Foreign Agent Registration Act document, which typically is a paperwork issue that is easily rectified.
And this is a major issue that I wanted to bring up with you, because this is what Moynihan and Doyle alleged the Clintons have been doing through the Clinton Foundation. So it's interesting to see how Donald Trump and his associates are being charged with things that the Clintons have been doing for decades and no one said anything about.
Well, the documents that Judicial Watch uncovered, the emails showing communications between the foundation official Doug Band and the State Department, he was advocating and trying to get work done on behalf of foreign nationals and foreign leaders in one case. So that issue, it certainly ought to be a live one for the Clinton Foundation.
Right, and then the other major thing that came up in the Flynn hearing was this recently revealed criminal trial that's going on in the Eastern District of Virginia. Judge Sullivan was asking a lot of questions about what kind of criminal exposure General Flynn would have in that case. The prosecutor revealed that had a 10-year maximum sentence versus the 5-year maximum sentence that he's facing in this 18 U.S.C. 1001 charge. It almost seemed like, if you were reading between the lines, Judge Sullivan was trying to suss out if this case in Virginia was being used as a lever against Flynn. What do you think about that?
Oh, well, I think that's a fair question. I think the easiest answer is he's trying to figure out what did Flynn get in exchange for his plea agreement. And this is an additional criminal activity for which he could have been prosecuted in theory, and that's what the judge initially was trying to get out there. But he was asking questions that could be read both ways. But neither the prosecutors or General Flynn bit, and they didn't take the bait.
See, there's an article in True Pundit months ago saying that the special counsel's office was going to go after Michael Flynn Jr., and the possibility exists that this case in Virginia could be that. I just wonder if General Flynn is just remaining tight-lipped. I mean, this is a guy who's worked in intelligence his whole life. He knows how to keep a secret. So he's not going to say something in open court that would jeopardize his son or... I mean, I'm asking you to speculate. I realize that, and I see you're not wanting to do it.
Yeah, I don't know anything else about other charges, about family members or anything like that. The special counsel has been appreciative of the fact he hasn't been out there giving interviews. That's for sure. That came up in court.
Yeah, and also, of course, Judge Sullivan said that they were postponing the sentencing until Michael Flynn is completely done with his cooperation with the government, which seemed to make sense, but so many people are upset by that. Do you or does Judicial Watch have any more information on this hearing?
Well,
in
other than what I
Virginia?
saw at the hearing,
The
well, I
Virginia
mean, the
one.
indictments were related to whether other people in his company were lying about whether or not they were representing Turkish interests from abroad, and it's just more of the same in terms of what Flynn has pled guilty to, which is failure to file and disclose appropriately his alleged work for the Turkish government.
So where do you think this is going to go from here? Any ideas?
I think in a year or so, or even less, we'll be back in court and the sentence will come down. Unless President Trump does what I think he ought to do, which is pardon General Flynn.
Why has he not done that?
I don't know, because I mean, there could be many reasons. And if you're looking at it from a political perspective and, other also legitimate reasons, you can imagine many reasons why he hasn't taken those extraordinary steps yet.
Got it. Well, very diplomatically put, Tom. I appreciate that. Can you just tell everybody where they can find Judicial Watch and how they can help you in the work that you're doing?
We're online at judicialwatch.org, and of course we're on Facebook and Twitter and everywhere else. And of course we have our own website at judicialwatch.org.
Thank you very much, Tom. Great to see you here at Turning Point USA. Have a great day.
You're welcome.
Thanks very much. Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch. Thanks, everybody.